of dance in Green Bay. Rage against the dying of the night. Wild men caught and swang the sun of light, learn to wait, be grieved on its way. Not just into that night. Great men.
Hey, you beautiful people, and welcome to a GetModular video with me, Get Jervis, and seemingly with Jackson. Federico reached out from Jolin Labs and asked if I would like to try his new module, Rosa. And of course, I jumped at the chance. He sent the module free of charge, but hasn't asked that I say anything in particular. So every opinion in this video is mine and potentially Jackson's alone. Are you happy now? So what is Rosa? Well, the manual states that Rosa is a multi-mode crossfader scanner and switcher, all in a rather efficient 6U module, 13mm deep. So for the keen-eyed amongst you, you will see there's a tiny logo, and that is to signify that this is designed in collaboration with Giacomo Tombolan of Versio. Anyway, right, let's look at this then. So what have we got? We've got 4 inputs and 4 outputs. You've got a CV input there to modulate and an attenuverter here. Now, above the CV input, you've got a toggle switch to select between CV or pot. The pot signifies this continuous rotary controller here, which has an infinity sign above it. So it goes round and round and round and round and round. So that is your way of cycling through the inputs or outputs. In addition to this, we get a knee input, which allows us to shape how the transitions behave in all modes. And finally, the shut input, which allows us to mute all VCAs simultaneously. Perfect for rhythmic possibilities. We'll play with that in a minute. And finally, this little innocent toggle switch here allows us to change what the Rosa does. 3 separate modes. Let's look at those individually. So we'll plug in 4 voices. Plat's doing a plucky thing. The Hysteria giving me an analog kind of bass sound. Dystopia giving me some pink noise, because I wouldn't use any other colour with Jolin, right? And finally, I've got this file playback module, which is giving me some Dylan Thomas poetry, read by yours truly.
Wild men.
So there we are.
And learn on its way.
So let's plug in some modulation. You can use an LFO here, the EB by Axis Modular, which is a wonderful kit. You should all try.
With blinding sight, blind eyes could blaze.
So depending on the waveform and the rate, you get some really interesting. Let's get more. Well, let's try that knee as well while we're at it. So I've got a looping envelope here. Wave mode. Same 4 inputs. now for outputs. That in the middle, still on CV, and here we go. And let's use the envelope to... Let's shut that door. Shut that gate. Very weird. Love it. Quirky as hell. So now we've got one input, sequence input, going out to the hysteria, plats, and the noise. You can hear the noise, no doubt, in the background. All right, let's see what this sounds like when we press go. Using the knee now. So there it is, the fabulous Rosa from Jolin. Now, there's a couple of things I would like to say as some sort of conclusion of my time with Rosa, and obviously as short as it's been so far. Now, I expected, with it being a scanner, that I might use it to create atmospheric drones, certainly more evolving pads, those kind of washy sounds. But quite honestly, as you've already heard, that wasn't really the case. The fact that you have got the knee input to soften or toughen up those inputs, and also that in conjunction with the shut, I was finding myself, as you know, making really rhythmic patches. Yeah, who'd have thought it was, it would be so rhythmically powerful, I guess, So, that was as much surprise to me as anything else. On top of that, I think, and definitely worthy of note, and I hinted at it earlier on with a bit of text, is just how wonderfully dim the light is. And I mean that it's legible, and you might be able to pick it up with the camera because obviously we're in a highly lit environment. But the rotary indicator that goes around and tells you which part of the scan you're on, whether it's input or output, is nice to look at. It's not distracting. A lot of these LEDs, like the quantized one on the hysteria, it's quite bright, and when you've got a whole rig full of really bright lights, I mean, thankfully green ones aren't so bright, it can be quite distracting. So thank you, Federico, for that one. Yeah, and that's it really. I really enjoyed my time with Rosa. As you probably could tell, with some of the jams went on a lot longer than what you've seen, and I'm definitely going to be sort of investigating and exploring more rhythmic patches with this beauty. I will be using this in my live streams for certainly jamming in gym jams, so that's on every Sunday at 10 p.m. So do drop in and say hi. Would love to have you there. But yeah, I definitely recommend trying one of these out if you can get your hands on one. They do a DIY build as well. So, get your soldering out and get going. Level 3, I think, out of 5. So that's really the Rosa in a nutshell. Thank you for your time. I hope you found this video entertaining and informative. Please like it, subscribe to the channel if you don't already do so. Tell your friends. Bring them all in. You're all welcome. And you're all warmly invited to our live streams twice a week. Really leaves me to say thank you all. Be well, be good to each other and yourselves. And don't let your cat in the studio, obviously. Jackson!
Do not go gentle that night. Old age, burn and rave at the close of day. Rage against the dying of light. The wise men at